It's time for business, and Daryl Kwal is here. Hello, Daryl.
Hi, Israel. Are you building?
Why? No, I'm not.
Well, you should. Trying to update plans underway and all of that. But we're going to talk about the Joy News Habitat Fair. Yes. You know, at the back of our minds, the housing deficit, 2 million units. How do we tackle that? Okay. That's why we've put together the Joy News Habitat Fair. And for 3 days, patrons at the mini clinic at the Achimota Mall were exposed to various goods and services in the housing sector. This year's Habitat Fair would address how building technology can give true meaning to affordable housing. My colleague Charles Aite was at the Achimota Mall and shows you what you missed.
19 mini Habitat Fair here at the Achimota Mall. Whenever we mention the Habitat Fair, we're talking about that particular program in the time of the year where we get to familiarize ourselves with the various products and discounted, packages that could aid us own that particular dream home of ours. Let us start off with this particular sign, and these are the Elegant Homes and General Construction. They deal with the real estate sector and all that has to do with it. And I have an individual who's going to be helping us out with all that they have here. So first of all, how has the mini fair been like for you having to start off here?
Okay, it has been quite okay. So as the name says, it's elegant. So when you come to our stand, we have unique designs and unique stuffs that we can offer.
Thank you very much. So that was from Elegant Homes there. The first 10% discount. If you could make the math, you could just find out how much you're going to be saving. But let us move straight up to GHS Housing, and they are also into the gated community in the real estate sector. Whenever you're talking of affordable, I mean, help us with the prices.
Okay, with our prices, it's hard time to get an estate houses that will be selling a gated community for $42,000. We have a 2-bedroom, which is not semi-detached, a detached, full detached house going for as low as $42,000.
We are giving 50% discount.
50%?
50% discount on aluminium sheet installations.
Okay.
If you buy any of our aluminium sheet profiles, the installation amount, we give you 50% off it.
At the fair, we are offering a 32.5 hour for 30 Ghana cedis. It used to be 31 cedis, 40 pesos. So we've taken off 1 cedi, 40 pesos. But you know, with cement, you don't just buy 1 or 2. We are talking about lots of bags. So you can do the multiplication yourself, and you see the discount we are giving you. And we want Ghanaians to try SuperSem because it's the best so far on the market.
It's all about bridging the housing deficit in Ghana, which currently stands at 2 million across the nation. This is very disturbing. And for us here, that's the main reason why we have organized such events for you to just pass by, get in touch with the exhibitors, and find for yourself the needed package for your home, whether you're building or you're buying. In the meantime, I'm Charles Aite reporting for Joy Business.
Well, the Joy News Habitat Fair mini clinic heads next to the West Hills Mall. Keep following as the dates will be announced. Now, financial and banking sector consultant Dr. Richmond Ituain has said the financial sector cleanup should have been done holistically rather than start with only the banks. His comments come on the back of a disclosure of the possible cost of the cleanup exercise. The finance minister revealed during the mid-year review of the budget that the exercise will cost an estimated 21 billion Ghana cedis. Now, speaking to Joy Business's Philip Namfuri, Dr. Ituain said a total overhaul would have been better than a subsector basis.
And when they started the bailout, I said that they should look at it holistically. Holistically in the sense that when we're doing banking, we should have talked about the microfinance. We should have talked about the savings and loans. One time. You see, if you do the piecemeal approach, that is where there is a rundown. Currently, there is a rundown. Although they say deposits are going down, it is deposit moving from microfinance to the banks.
Sector.
I mean, no money is coming. It's the same thing. But because you didn't do it holistically and piecemeal, confidence has hit it. But you see, you're talking about $5 billion of the GDP. I don't know what the percentage. Close to about 7 to 8%, isn't it? Mm-hmm. To spend this on people who have mismanaged especially those who have mismanaged their banks, and they are working freely.
The finance minister would disagree with you and say this was the best way to salvage the situation, to save the economy, to save depositors.
Paul, I agree with you. When it started, that I said the same thing, that you need to bail out. But in other jurisdictions, when you're doing the bailout, it is a holistic bailout. You forget about AIG. When the Americans wanted to do the bailout of Citibank,
yes,
they bailed the insurance people because AIG was the hub of all the mortgages.
Exactly.
So they bailed them up. For us, we thought that it's only the banking sector.
The hub of all that.
Exactly. You should look at it holistically and be very bold to say that we will need so much to do it. And when you do it, you clean it and clean it very well.
Up next, we want to bring you a summary of some business news. President Akufo-Addo giving assent to the New Companies Act and why grass production could be useful.
President Akufo-Addo says he has given assent to the New Companies Act replacing the 1963 version. The president, however, says more needs to be done to complete the country's business reform agenda and the corporate restructuring and the insolvency bill, which is currently before Parliament. He said it would provide the avenue to help resuscitate the stress but viable business entities and establishments from liquidation. Businesses have been expressing worry and uncertainty about the recent suspension of the Power Distribution Service long-term concession by the government, according to reports by Gold Street Business. The suspension of the deal followed an alleged detection of fundamental and material breaches of PDS's obligation in the provision of payment securities for the transaction, which have been discovered upon further due diligence. The GNA report, president of the Miller Open University, Professor David Miller, has called on government and other stakeholders to strategically invest in grass production to green the environment and boost the economic fortunes of the country. He said grasses were multi-purpose natural resources that could help curb desertification, land degradation, and other environmentally related issues, adding that with some introduction of value addition to the grasses, so much could be derived from it.
President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has called for diversification of policies across the continent to support entrepreneurs. According to him, this has become critical due to the high unemployment rate, despite policies and programs initiated by African governments. Dr. Adesina was addressing some African presidents and entrepreneurs at the 2019 Tony Elumelu Foundation Forum in Abuja, Nigeria.
The biggest challenge for African entrepreneurs is access to credit for both startups and existing small and medium enterprises. Despite many policy initiatives to tackle the situation, most financial institutions are unable to provide low interest on credit. This is causing quite a number of small businesses to fold up, contributing to an increasing level of unemployment across the continent. Speaking at this year's Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Forum, President of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, said time has come for the creation of a financial agency responsible for investment opportunities for entrepreneurs.
The mixing institutions, the market failures, and the government failure. To do that, I propose that it's time that we begin to set up youth entrepreneurship and investment banks. Let me explain myself so that I'm very clear. A bank where you walk, or banks where you walk into, and they see assets, they don't see liability. Where you walk into, they have faith and confidence in young people who can actually help you to grow UBA and others, grow your business. What does this mean? That means that we have to de-risk lending to businesses of young people.
Founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Tony Elumelu, charged the entrepreneurs to use the platform to create a change in the economy of Africa.
It's important to have the opportunity to prove your concept, your ideas, and that is why this kind of $5,000 is so important. Then we can scale that up. But if we don't give you the opportunity to prove your idea, you don't have the opportunity to scale up. And so we appreciate what the president is doing, and we would like them to do more to support young Africans. And the Nigerian Red Cross is wonderful, as I said yesterday. They were the first international partners we had, and they supported 200 entrepreneurs from the Niger Delta and the northeastern part of Nigeria, and now they are ready to do even more in fragile economy.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation has supported about 50 Ghanaian entrepreneurs this year with funding of $5,000. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
Well, still on the subject of funding for entrepreneurs, the chief executive of Quick Angels Limited, Richard Nii Amakwe, is urging small business owners to change their perception about angel investors. He observes most entrepreneurs are not willing to open up to investors because of fear of losing ownership.
In Ghana today, you have no excuse to say that you are unable to achieve your dreams, you are unable to become an entrepreneur, you are able to get to the top because of funds. You have no excuse anymore. In the past, one can be excused. We could understand anybody who comes up with these excuses because yes, that's the challenge. Because you go to the banks, they'll ask you for collaterals, they'll give you loans at high interest rates that will virtually kill your business from the start and all that. You see, but today we are pushing you and giving you alternatives from the banks. Mind you, let me even put it on record that startups do not need loans to even do anything meaningful. Wow. All around the world, they understand that startups do not need loans. So even banks don't give loans to startups. Banks are not supposed to give loans. If you see any bank that is lending to startups, that bank is trading a dangerous ground. Because investing in startups is one of the most riskiest, it's not one of, it is the riskiest
very risky.
Investment class of assets to hold. It is very, very risky. And with banks, working with people's investments and people's savings and people's deposits, you don't trade that line. So banks are not supposed to back in an economy where we don't have enough equity investors and enough angel investors here. We have tried to force our banks.
Next, a check on how trading went on the commodity market today. And that's it for business.